Hello, and welcome to Give It Another Year, my podcast diary. My name is Jenny Q, and in today's episode, I am going to be sharing an original story that I wrote called Christmas Breakfast. We are going to jump right into the story, so I'm going to give you a second right now to put me on pause, go and get a hot chocolate, a juice, a drink, a beverage, coffee, tea, a blanket, a pillow, whatever you like. It's just a fun little Christmas story, and when you return, I will begin. Are you back? Welcome back. I am not going to give a whole lot of prelude. I am just going to say this is an original story. I wrote it inspired by a job I was hired to do for a place called Carrie's Place. And I'll share more about that after, so stick around and if you're curious. Otherwise, put your feet up and enjoy the story. Christmas Breakfast, written by J. Caspira. That's me. Do you ever wonder what it would like to not be you? I do. Sometimes I will sit and I'll quiet my mind and imagine what other people's lives are like. My friends, my classmates, my family, and even my doctor. What are the things that stir their souls and their minds? What makes them feel different things? What do they feel most often? I then start to see how they are stronger than me, smarter and faster and more fun than me. I then start to feel really sad inside. I imagine how freeing it would be to live a life feeling so much love and admiration for all you do and all the things that you have done and achieved. One day, I was so deep inside my thoughts that a random thought entered my mind. The thought of Christmas breakfast. I love Christmas breakfast. With Christmas music playing in the background, family filling the house, and oh, the food. Suddenly, a second thought popped into my mind. What would food think and feel if it could tell me? I drifted more deeply inside my own imagination, and I began my conversation with a stack of pancakes. Hello, I said nervously, unsure if a pile of pancakes would reply, even inside my imagination. Are you talking to me? The voice was unexpected, and had a country's twang to it, with a hint of surprise and challenge all at the same time. Unable to hide my giddiness because I had pancakes talking to me, I enthusiastically replied, Why, yes. Unsure of how to start a conversation with pancakes, because they are so different than me, I remembered how it is always good manners to ask someone how they are, and truthfully, that was my burning curiosity. How are you doing? Don't you just love Christmas? I will admit, as I was asking, I could not stop thinking of how delicious some butter and jam would taste on top of the head of those golden pancakes. Actually, I don't like Christmas breakfast at all. There are too many other foods on the table that are so much more delicious. I don't mind the fruit and the bacon. We get along just fine. I know that I will be the last pick on the table. I might even be sitting in the oven at the end of the day. I'm always the last one and left behind. I actually knew what the pancakes meant. I sometimes would also be left behind because there are so many other friends or classmates who are so much more interesting and fun. I was unsure of how to comfort a pancake, so all I could say was, Well, I love pancakes. I guess that is to say I love you. Is it weird or comforting to know that what I love about you is how you are fluffy and taste with butter and jam? Well, it certainly is something that's turning this frown upside down. As a pancake, I just want to make someone's breakfast and tummy happy. I'm glad that you said hello. Seems it's my time to leave. Later, miss. And before I could say goodbye, an older woman in a bright and red and green Christmas apron lifted the plate with the pancakes and took them into the kitchen. In its place, another woman laid down an oval plate with a single layer of French toast, sprinkled with icing sugar, glistening with maple syrup, and surrounded by fresh blueberries and raspberries. Its perfume of vanilla and cinnamon tickled my nose and widened my eyes. "Oh, hello!" I greeted the French toast. I figured if I can chat with pancakes, why not French toast? "Hello, miss. So kind of you to be so friendly." Again, the voice startled me. Being called French toast, I was expecting a French flair, but instead the French toast had a deeper voice than I thought. It had a hum that would come and go as the toast was thinking deeply about the words it was saying. "You're most welcome. Don't you just love Christmas breakfast?" Well, if I am to be truthful, and I think I will be because you are so kind as to take time to talk with me, you see, no, I do not like Christmas breakfast. It is so rare that I get to visit the kitchen table, you see. I am so unwanted, and I am only ever invited to special occasions like Christmas, Easter, or perhaps the occasional Sunday brunch. Doesn't that make you feel loved and wanted? I mean, I see so many people looking at you and thinking about how good you look and taste. You are especially with whipped cream and fruit and chocolate. Oh, and so many other choices. Actually, it makes me feel overlooked and not special, you see. Often children will pick pancakes over me because I look different, and the adults feel like they need to dress me up with other ingredients to enjoy me. They don't seem to like me just for me. Again, I truly understood the scenario. I am always included with my classmates during assemblies or field trips, but the days in between are often lonely, and that is when I wonder what it is like to not be me. It somehow steals part of the joy of being there, of being part of something because you were invited only because you were part of the class. I started to feel sad, and I did not want that for the toast, so I did my best to cheer him up. "Well," I began, "I believe that you are special, and honestly, my favorite part of you is the eggy inside. Would you like to join me next weekend for breakfast, just you and me?" Before he could reply, my Uncle Billy placed him on his plate. It is hard to tell if your food is smiling, but I am confident that the French toast gave me a big smile as he was placed on a plate and taken away to be enjoyed. Almost instantly, another platter was laid down on the table by the woman with the red and green Christmas apron. She smiled at me and handed me a plate without saying a word. This time the platter was full of crepes on one side and waffles on the other. I wanted to say hello again, because this was the most interesting and fun Christmas breakfast I had ever attended. Unfortunately, I could not get a word in with the arguing that was taking place on that beautiful white platter. I just sat there and listened, and when they spoke, that French flair I was expecting with the toast rolled out of the crepe's mouth. "Oh, monsieur, how can you be so rude? Taking up over half the space on this platter. How will anyone ever see me?" "Like, just relax, okay? There is more than enough room. Chill out." Chill out. Chill out. Easy for you to say since you are taller and thicker than me. I just want my share of the platter. Move over. Okay, listen. Relax. It's no big deal. Let me enjoy the view of the delicious maple syrup. Soon the syrup and I will be sharing a plate, and you can have the whole platter. Cool? My heart ached for the crepes. How could the waffles not see how mean he was being, not really listening to what the crepe was saying? It is so frustrating to try and share something that is upsetting you, to be brushed aside and know that you have not been heard, despite the fact that the other person is talking with you. It is very hard not to get angry. "Excuse me," I interrupted. Both the crepes and the waffles were suddenly silent. I suspect they were not used to a person talking to them. After a moment of awkward silence, I gently rotated the whole platter so that both were equally displayed at the front of the table. I made sure that the waffles could see the syrup and that the crepes knew they were wanted by placing 2 of them on my plate and giving them a great big smile. The last thing I heard as I stood up was, "Merci, mademoiselle. Joyeux Noël." For the first time in this random thought, which had turned into a daydream, I looked around and saw that some of my family had pancakes, like my parents, while others had French toast or waffles, and I smiled so big when I saw that my cousin Catherine also had a crepe on her plate. Uncle Billy? Well, he had some of each because he loved to eat and he loved all 4 and could not decide. As the smells and the vision of the daydream slowly drifted away and was replaced with darkness because my eyes were closed, I felt something new inside. It felt fun and energetic. It kept a smile on my face. My thoughts were no longer asking, "What is it like to not be me?" Instead, the question, "How can I help make someone else's day better?" was making itself at home in my mind. After all, if I can cheer up some pancakes, French toast, and crepes by just being me, imagine the difference I could bring into the world using my imagination, compassion, and by being a friend. I am starting to see the ways in which I am smart, strong, creative, fun, and loved. Do you ever wonder what it is like to truly be you? I do. And that's it. That's the end of the story. I told you it was a short little one. So just a little bit about the story, and then we'll wrap up, I guess. The story I wrote, like I said, for Carrie's Place, I basically was hired. I think it was during COVID or just shortly after COVID. They had a lot of online activities for the people they supported, for the children they supported. And so what I would do is I would basically visit and I would put together things to share and talk about. And one of the things I did was I wrote original stories, and this was one of them. And I've shared this story with other people, and they say it's fun and it's light, and so I thought that's why I would share it with everyone here. I am going to now, hang on, let me check my notes. Yes, so that's that. If you've been to any of my other previous episodes, you might notice the formatting's changed, and I've gotten some feedback. So I'm going to rearrange my formatting, and I'm going to try sort of jumping into the meat of stuff a little sooner and having the other stuff sort of on the back end, like right now, and I'll be incorporating it into the write-ups of the episodes. So I will still be doing my podcast promises. And today I'm just going to write them out in the description. So if you want to know what my podcast promises are, there they are. And what my podcast promises are what I promise to you, the person who listens, and to myself to keep me accountable. And now one of my podcast promises is I will always leave you with a question or a thought that you can take away from the episode. And then I have one other thing to share, and then we are done. And as I ask the question, I always like to bring the music back up. The music I like to use as my clue that we are either beginning or ending. So today's question, inspired by the story, is what is your favorite part of Christmas breakfast? And I'm asking specifically Christmas breakfast because for me, we always have bacon and eggs. It's just a standard, and there's just something about the smell of bacon Christmas morning. It's richer. It's one more wonderful than any other time I have bacon and eggs. It's so good. So yes, what's your favorite part of Christmas breakfast? And maybe you'll do that this year. And if you haven't done it for a while, maybe do it again. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do as I wrap up here is I am going to share my philosophy as I do with every episode. The gifts, there's 3 gifts we all can give those that we love this Christmas. And it's the same as what we can do every day to help make this world a little bit better, a little bit brighter. And the first thing is we can share our smile. The second thing is we can share our love. And the third is we can share our laughter. I will leave it at that and wish everyone a happy, safe, and healthy week leading up to Christmas week. And I will see you next well, I won't see you. I'll talk to you. I'll share with you next Tuesday. Have a great day, folks. Talk to you later.